All right, the meeting is called to order for the City of Harahan Council meeting July 18, 2019. Madam Clerk, pledge.
Councilman Asbill?
Present.
Councilman Buddy?
Present.
Councilman Chatelain?
Present.
Councilman Johnston?
Present.
Councilman Wheeler?
Present.
Mayor Bodier?
Present.
Police Chief Walker is absent. Keith Moody, Assistant Chief.
Standing in.
Fire Chief St. Cyr?
Present.
Finance Director Todd Tunion? City Attorney Scott Stansberry? And Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee, present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we get tonight's meeting started, we've been having a lot of concern about blight in the city. So now that we got our feet somewhat on the ground, we're going to start really ramping up regulatory. And so this is my first warning out to everyone. If you have blight, please clean it up. If your property's a mess, please clean it up. If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, please bring it up to code. If you haven't filed for your business license, please come in and file, and let's get this taken care of. This is a courteous call to you guys to let's step up to the plate, get it done. Let's clean our city up. Let us get back rolling and doing some good stuff and moving forward with some good progress. Before we move to special presentation, I would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance number 2019-22, ordinance for introduction. Madam, all right, motion by Councilman Asbill, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended. I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to add new business number 2, St. Rita Pecan Festival Committee, requesting permission to sell beer and wine at the bingo. Also requesting to sell beer and wine at the Pecan Fest. Bingo is October 4th. Pecan Fest is November 9th. Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended. Madam Clerk, special presentations.
I do not believe Darlene Schwartz is here tonight. I don't think she's going to make it tonight for, so we're moving on to Keith Moody. You want to do current state of the Harahan Police Department? No report, all right. Approval of the minutes.
What about Jennifer?
Jennifer Case.
Oh, right, Jennifer
Yeah,
Case.
John.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add,
No, she's on.
It's already on.
oh,
It's already on.
She's on there.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
Hi, this is Jennifer Case. I'm Mardell Groom. I live at 536 Stratford Drive in Harahan. Been out here for over 20 years.
Is it on?
And
Wait, Mardell.
It's on.
so,
No, it does.
Mardell, lick your fingers, stick it up in the air.
well, my mouth is big enough to carry.
Yeah, we want to pick it up on the recording.
Yeah.
Here, we can share.
Paul, are you picking up?
Unless you want to go try that one. Yeah. Go try the other one.
This one's on.
Yeah, that one. There you go. That one's working.
I'm working now. Are you on?
I'm not working.
Okay, we have to bring it down for the short people. Okay. Once again, this is Jennifer Case, and I'm Mardell Groom. We're both residents of Harahan. So, good afternoon, Mayor, council members, residents, and additional attendees. Thank you for the opportunity for this special presentation. We are here tonight to announce a new 501(c) nonprofit named For a Better Harahan. We take a moment to introduce you to what For a Better Harahan is. It is a nonprofit created to assist those entities that serve our Harahan community. Our goal is to assist the departments in Harahan in meeting the needs of our community. While we are committed to our goal, we realize that we cannot do this alone. It is our hope that the community can be a vital asset to our team and our cause. We have recently launched our Facebook page and invite everyone to like and friend us on Facebook, For a Better Harahan. We will be holding community events throughout the year to raise funds. Bringing our community together is integral to our success and to the success of our community. Our first campaign is called Keep the Firefighters Breathing. It is to supplement the Harahan firemen in the purchase of breathing equipment. New equipment is imperative for them to perform their jobs. This equipment is an immediate need, and our fire department needs to use it to protect our lives and our property while ensuring their safety. We are hosting a community cookout on Saturday, September 14th at Harahan Playground from 5 to 10 p.m. The coming together of our neighbors and friends in support of our community is our main goal. We are fortunate to already have many generous donations from businesses in our community directly in Harahan. We are pleased to announce that we will have live music provided by Refried Confusion beginning at 5:30. There is no gate fee to enter the event. It is free. Hamburgers, hot dogs, nachos, drinks, and baked goods will be available for purchase. And in addition to the live music, we will also have inflatables for the kids and a special Dunk the Politician. All of our politicians have generously volunteered to sit the dunking booth. Yes, you did. All of you did. That's what I was told.
I thought we were voluntold.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were voluntold.
We were
You were
voluntold.
voluntold. Well, you know, it's for the good of the community. So there will also be items for auction. We've received some very generous donations already. We'll have a 50-50 raffle, and we'll be updating our Facebook with what other items come in as our donations come in. We still have 2 months to go to the event. So we are still seeking sponsors. So if you are a Harahan business owner or even a River Ridge or Metairie business owner, we are glad to take your sponsorship. We have sponsorship forms and flyers for the event that will leave outside the doors that you can pick up on your way out. And we also have our event posted on Facebook, so go to Facebook and keep abreast of all the new coming things. So please, like our page, make a donation, bake something for our bake sale, come meet your neighbors, and come dunk these guys. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day. September 14th. I did. Say it again. Yeah, I can say it again. September 14th, Harahan Playground, gates open at 5, and Carrie's going first in the Dunkin' booth now.
No, I'm taking the first dunk.
Oh, no, no,
I'm gonna
we're
go.
very competitive.
I'll go ahead and take
You're
the
going
first one.
first? I want to go last.
You ready to go? Right.
All right, approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on June 20th.
All right, do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are dispensed.
And approval of the minutes of the council meeting on June 20th.
Do I have a motion to approve the meetings for?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second by Councilman Asbiel, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes have been approved.
And communications. The Board of Adjustments and Appeals meeting on May 15th.
Do I have a motion to defer?
Move to defer.
Councilman Asbiel moves to defer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning and Appeals will be postponed till the next council meeting.
Yeah.
And
And then reading of the minutes of Planning and Zoning Board on July 10th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the Planning and
Motion.
Zoning Board? Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are dispensed with the reading.
And motion to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on July 10th.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Buddy.
Wait. I haven't seen the minutes. So I think we need to defer.
Okay,
Okay.
so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Buddy to defer.
Second. Second.
All right, second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes have been deferred.
They're in
Yeah,
the
they're in there.
packet.
They are?
Yes,
Yeah, they're,
Well, they weren't.
no, they are.
They weren't earlier.
they were,
They should be in everyone's. It's right behind the 20th, June 20th minutes. It's just a single page.
Well, I'm I'm sorry, when I reviewed the electronic package, I didn't see them. I may have missed them.
Who was the first, who motioned to defer?
Yes.
I know you seconded.
Yep.
Tom,
Buddy.
Yep.
All right, and resolutions, there's no resolutions. Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2019-14. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Buddy. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the establishment of procedures, terms, and conditions managing the occupancy and use of public right-of-ways by providers of telecommunications services.
Okay.
Move to defer.
Councilman Asbill moves to defer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Proposed ordinance number 2019-14 is deferred till the August meeting.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler and seconded by Councilman, this is for the re-subdivision,
I'll second it.
Buddy. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 131 Oakland Avenue, Lot 45A, Block 2, Markham Heights subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Ronald Clement, dated April 5th, 2019.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Move to defer. This is what we're, yeah,
Yeah.
move to defer the.
Planning and zoning, when they met, they made a motion to defer this.
We have to at least open it up for public
Right.
hearing.
We could, yeah, we could open it to public.
At least open it for public hearing.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Move to open the public hearing.
All right.
Public hearing.
So, public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to come speak on this ordinance. All right, no one coming forward to speak on this ordinance. Public hearing is now closed. All right,
Motion to
now we
defer.
have a motion on the floor by Councilman Wheeler to defer,
Second.
second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Defer to the August meeting, August meeting, I'm sorry.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-18. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman
I'll second.
Johnston.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Let me, I gotta read it real
Motion.
quick.
Yes.
Motion by
And-
Councilman Wheeler,
She
second by?
got to
I
read it
gotta
first.
read the title.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 400 and 404 Oak Avenue, Lot 43A, Square N1, Harahan City Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Katori, dated March 20th, 2019.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by
Second.
Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open. I know one coming forward to speak on it. Do I?
They did recommend
Yeah,
the
planning and zoning did
re-subdivision.
recommend this subdivision. Okay,
Do you want to speak?
Yeah, why don't
Sure.
you come up and.
you want to come?
Yeah, it was recommended unanimously by planning and zoning to approve it. Given the information that we received from the people trying to, I guess, re-subdivide, it seems to be that permit was issued by the previous regulatory director, I guess if that's the right,
Correct?
you know, and there was also some wrong information for the people that purchased the property. So there's actually somebody else here that's probably can talk more and more about it, but it was voted unanimously to recommend to approve it. Oh, yeah, we did have one recusal. One recusal. So that was it.
No. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, no discussion. Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by? Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
I'm abstaining from the vote.
So 4 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention.
Proposed ordinance number 2019-19. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman,
Second. It's just,
It doesn't matter.
all right, Wheeler.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Wait, an ordinance to place stop signs on Gordon Avenue at the corners of 7th Street.
Okay, do I have a motion to open for public hearing?
Motion.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. Public hearing is now open. All right, no one coming to speak forth. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
No discussion.
I appreciate y'all's support on the stop sign. I mean,
Yeah.
as a kid growing up, riding my bike past there, I mean, we should have had a stop sign years ago. Anything y'all can do, I'd appreciate it.
Police department agrees. Chief? Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes. Okay.
Ordinance for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2019-20. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the protection and promotion of the public health, safety, and welfare by regulating and eliminating those nuisances which have a negative impact upon the quality of life, safety, and health of the neighborhoods where they are located. Proposed ordinance number 2019-21. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances regarding the regulation, permitting, and licensing the sale of fireworks within the city limits of Harahan and to provide for procedures therewith. And proposed ordinance number 2019-22. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances by the addition of Chapter 19, Harahan Regulatory Court, and related regulations and bylaws. And old business, there's no old business. New business number 1, the community cookout being held for a Better Harahan, which was scheduled for July 20th, has been rescheduled to Saturday, September 14th from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. at Harahan Playground. Permission to sell beer and daiquiris at this event was granted by the council at the May 23rd council meeting. And new business number 2, the St. Rita Pecan. You want to do it again?
Yeah, just to be.
Might as well double vote just to.
Yeah. Move to grant permission for the new date.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by
Second.
Councilman Johnson to allow for a Better Harahan to serve beer at their event. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission is granted.
All right, new business number 2. The St. Rita Pecan Festival Committee is requesting permission to sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Pecan Festival on Friday, November 8th from 5 p.m. until 12 a.m., Saturday, November 9th from 12 p.m. until 12 a.m., and Sunday, November 10th from 12 p.m. until 9 p.m. They're also requesting permission to block Berg Street from Imperial Woods to Rayvan during the hours of operation for the festival. And they're requesting permission to sell beer and wine at the Pecan Festival Bingo on Friday, October 4th from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission is granted. I wasn't going to try to rehash all of that.
All right, now address the council.
Okay, would anyone like to address the council? Please state your name and address at the podium.
Hey, we can use that one. We'll use that one for the night.
Okay. Judy Johnson, I think everybody knows I live on Oak Street. Tonight, we have another ordinance for first reading that has not been really thought out. This ordinance was put forward as a revenue stream for the fire department, but the money is not dedicated specifically to them. And since this is basically an all-cash business, how will the city monitor the daily receipts? It was stated in the fireside chat on Facebook that it would only be allowed in the zoning of C2 or light industrial. That sounds really good. However, the ordinance also states that the site must comply with all parking regulations. There isn't enough parking for the businesses in Harahan now. Where do you think the customers will park during the peak selling seasons? And when you realize that most of the C2 zoning classification areas in the city back up to R1, that changes everything. It sounded at first that these would be pop-up stands only, during 2 specified times of the year. But then I read about the storage of the fireworks during the rest of the year, and I quote, "Fireworks retailers doing business within the city must store all portable buildings, signs, and other materials related to the sale of fireworks behind site-obscuring fences located in C2 general commercial or light industrial districts within 10 days after the last day on which the sale of fireworks is permitted under this section. Failure to comply with the provisions of this section shall result in a citation." Behind fences, not in a bomb-proof building. That means if you live on the east side of Oak Avenue or behind any C2 classification along Jefferson Highway, you face the possibility of having very volatile merchandise stored within 20 feet of your home. Can this council guarantee that an accident will never happen? And let's face it, an accident would be nothing but short of catastrophic. The first time I read the ordinance, it read that fireworks could be sold to children as young as 10. But then it changed to children 16 years old. I really think that should be sold, they should be sold only to adults. If parents want their children to have fireworks, they should be prepared to buy them. Selling to children of any age is asking for trouble. The insurance required is $1 million policy, but there is no hold harmless clause to protect the city further. There really is only one place that these stands could be set up, and that is on the front of the light industrial area on Jefferson Highway, where the truck stop is located. Storage of the fireworks within the city should not be allowed at all. It is much too dangerous. The only good idea in the whole ordinance is the requirement that a prior year's sales tax form must be presented when applying for the $25,000 permit. That requirement should be implemented for every business having an occupational license within the city. Jefferson Parish collects our sales taxes and remits it to the city, but they will not delineate how much each business pays, so we never know. If a prior year's sales tax form was submitted by each business, the city could then monitor that the amount received from Jefferson Parish is correct. So I ask that you reconsider this ordinance carefully, because if it passes as is, any residents unlucky enough to have this located next to their homes will be in great danger, and I'm one of them. My house backs up to C2. Okay?
Thank you.
Nadine Cazenave, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. This is in reference to the fire station inspection report done by myself and Barbara Butera. We want to know if the city engineers have turned over a report on the fire station and what was in their report, and how will the city address the issues.
No, we're going to answer after y'all finish. We're writing your questions down, and we're going to answer.
First, since we were told by the firemen that the city engineer had been there just before we came, we inspected the fire station on June the 19th at 2 p.m. We wanted to see for ourselves if it was as bad as reported by Channel 8 on the news. We think it is as bad as they said, because regular maintenance has not been done, and it has been neglected for many years. The firemen said that they have 5 or 6 fires with 350 to 400 calls a year. They said $5,000 has recently been spent to fix the brakes on one of the trucks, and that the truck from Jefferson Parish is on permanent loan. The air conditioning and heating system has been broken for years and has been replaced by 2 more units, but the old units were never removed and should have been taken out when the new ones were installed. The filters look like they have not been changed, and the vents have mold. The ceiling is ruined, and in the same room with the pieces falling to the floor, and it's never been swept up. It's all over the floor. there were at least 20 to 25 breathing units that don't work on the floor in another room. Why are they broken units being stored? Why aren't they traded or sold or junked? The bedroom upstairs needs the floor replaced, and the ceiling shows water leaks. The air vents are filthy, and not daily cleaning is being done because the beds were unmade. The library has books and papers scattered all over and has no daily maintenance. The rail going up the stairs was filthy. The entire room has tons of equipment which is being used by our firemen and other firemen from other stations.
Move for additional 2 minutes.
Okay, like, I have a motion on the floor by
Second.
Councilman Evans, second by Councilman Johnson to move for additional 2 more minutes.
The lights were not on in that room, so we could not determine the status of the floor. In the kitchen, the best thing about the kitchen was the ceramic tile floor, which was installed by volunteers, including former Chief Pretlove, when the building was built. It is in good condition and was clean. However, the stove was dirty, and the hood above the stove needs replacing. The refrigerator freezer area floors outside the kitchen also are needed to be replaced because of possible leaks. The lounge area was not inspected. The station is in need of regular maintenance. The truck area needs to be totally pressure washed. The station needs to be cleaned and repainted, and some of the electrical outlets covers are missing. The roof has been leaking since Katrina and needs to be fixed, and the council was notified when it started leaking. The condition of the station seems to be caused by a lack of leadership by the fire chief, since it is his job as chief to make sure everything is kept in order and clean. In conclusion, the station needs to have a thorough cleaning with the roof repaired to prevent further leaks and mold. We also think that a monthly report by the fire chief as to the number of calls, whether fire, health, emergency, or traffic related, should be given at each council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Valenti, 191 Colonial Club Drive. I want to try to briefly touch on about 3 subjects, and since you're looking at me, you get the first one, Mr. Chatelain. At the last meeting, you invited citizens to ask you questions ahead of time so you could come prepared, and I did that at the civil service hearing. I had some words with you because you sat here at a meeting and said that the city could not buy a used fire truck or used cars, etc. And at the very end of your statement, you did say something like, I believe that, or something like that. And I said, I better check that out. He sounds like it's not an affirmative statement, but an opinion. And you did concede that to me at that meeting, and I asked you to bring some documentation that the city cannot buy a used fire truck. Because I know for a fact the city has purchased used motorcycles. I know other cities have purchased used fire trucks. And I just don't believe it's true. And I would just like this, and I told you that the problem that I had with you giving your opinion and not making it really, really, really clear that it's just your opinion, that a lot of the citizens think that you're telling us that we really can't do it. So in a moment, I hope that you will give us that information. About the fireworks, I don't know, to me it just seems insane that we have a city that has a law against popping fireworks and we're going to sell them. I mean, people have laughed about it. People have said it seemed like a comedy sketch. You and Mr. Asbill?
Mr. Mayor, I move to suspend the lady's time.
Motion to suspend Ms. Valenti's time,
Second.
second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5
Why?
yeas, 0 nays. 4 yeas, 0 nays?
Yay.
Yay. All right, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Your time has been suspended, Ms. Valenti. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Waterbill.
This is what our future gets to see.
Hello? Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, council members, do appreciate speaking. I was looking at the fireworks permit, and I do have some concerns, like some people have voiced their concerns. As I was looking up the different statutes for Louisiana, there's one particular one, I think it is 51:653, which is the storage and displaying of fireworks. The pop-ups, wherever these locations are going to be, are they going to self-regulate themselves, meaning post non-smoking signs, fire extinguishers, things of that concern, because that covers that in the state statute. And of course, what is permissible, because in the state statute lists which fireworks are permissible to be sold in the state of Louisiana and which ones that are not permissible in the state of Louisiana. They don't want people blowing off quarter 6 dynamites or things like that. So that was just a concern, maybe strengthening the this proposal if it passes. Next thing is, yeah, it is kind of strange to be able to sell fireworks, but then you have a law to make that's illegal. My thing is, if you sell it, make it legal, or make it legal by maybe if this is to support the fire department, maybe residents can come to City Hall and maybe get a permit to fire fireworks. It's an idea.
I like it.
$50, $100. You're gonna have the liability. Put forth your homeowner's policy. If there's any issues, anything like that, you're responsible for it, and the city's not liable for it. It's just an idea. Because I know y'all say it's going to happen, and which, yes, it does. It's going to happen no matter what. But it's just, but that's your decision to make. But these are just concerns that come through my mind as a resident here. Ms. Judy, brought up things about storage. It's a big, long document. I'm sure y'all can figure it out, or I can email it to you. And I do appreciate the mayor responding. The next thing, I hope you don't mind, that was my concern. My next concern is about,
Before you get in.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to run out of time. Move for
Okay.
2 more minutes.
All right, motion for 2 more minutes.
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbill. Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
All right.
This would be in reference to my dad. Obviously, he can't be here right now. He's much older. But I emailed all of y'all. Appreciate the response, Mayor Baudier. Just real briefly, my dad lives on 181 McHugh Street, and McHugh, Sedgefield, has been known for flooding for the past 20 years. I grew up there. I was a child there. And there's been a lot of proposals, subsurface drainage, lowering Jefferson Highway. I've been talking with various neighbors, Facebook, text messages, who actually live on the street, new neighbors actually who live on the street, and just looking for a solution. I'm not expecting, obviously, something to happen next week, a month, but maybe in 6 months to a year. I also understand flooding happens in Harahan. The streets are designed to hold the water until the pumps can catch up. But unfortunately, on Sedgefield and McHugh, that doesn't happen. I was there for the 95 flood. Once it got to a certain part, then it flowed over Jefferson Highway, which is about 8 inches of water in my dad's house at that time. So I'm hoping we can find a solution for that. My dad's been there since 1974. So that's basically it. I just wanted to address that, and hopefully that can be a 20-year issue put to rest. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So be it. You have flood houses, and I guess when me and my sister take over a house after my parents are gone, knock it down, build something new. I mean, whatever. But that was it. So.
Thank you.
Barbara Harney, 164 Glenwood Avenue. I just want to make an announcement. On August the 21st at 9 o'clock, there is going to be a hearing of a lawsuit against Woods Material. We need everybody to come out and support our city. It's going to be in Division K, Gretna Courthouse, 3rd floor, Judge Kovach. And I also want to thank Eric Chatelain for coming out within 5 minutes of a phone call of him regarding the ditches along Jefferson Highway. All the ditches are full of mud on between Glenwood going down the highway to River Ridge. And we looked at the undersized culverts. Some of them were cracked, and they're full of mud at this point. And lo and behold, right before that hurricane and rain event was supposed to hit our area, somebody came out, the city, the parish, or whatever, and cut the grass in the ditches and took out, the next day they came out and took the branches and all the trash that was in them. So in the future, we need to, Eric has already contacted local and state officials to try to help us replace those undersized culverts on Jeff Highway with bigger ones and cover them. The water cannot get under the culvert at Glenwood Avenue, and it's supposed to go to the front of the golf course and drain wherever it goes, and it can't. That ditch also backflows. Jeff Highway has to be at least 1 foot higher than the sidewalk along the highway. And I talked to my neighbor on the highway, and she said whenever it rains hard, that water will backflow into her front yard, and I know I get it in my backyard. I have a swamp. Houses were built next to me without chain walls. How does that happen? It all comes in my yard. So before the storm hit, I physically was digging a ditch from my backyard out to the front. And that's pathetic. But anyway, I hope that y'all will look into this, and I know Eric is trying, and I thank you very much. But this has been going on for years, and I flooded in 1995 too. I had at least 7 to 8 inches in my house, and thank God my house is on a little hill. But it's going to get worse. So I would appreciate y'all looking into this at the parish level. And that's something I've been bringing up with people that are running for parish jobs and at the state level. Or get a solid grant. You need at least $160,000 to raise each house. And that was when Katrina hit. So I have no idea what it costs now. Could raise every house in Harahan that floods. Right? Bring up the values. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Sarah Wood with Wood Materials Company, and we are a 4th generation family business operating in Jefferson Parish for a very long time, since 1953. Our sand pits in Harahan have been there for 60 years, and they contribute $150,000 to Harahan every year in sales tax revenues. Our company values are excellence, family, and respect. We're proud to operate an excellent green project on the Batcher, where old trees are turned into beautiful mulch and organic garden soil, instead of being hauled across the river and ending up in the landfill. But we're considering moving this initiative to another nearby location. And we're trying to find some alternative uses for this 50 acres along the river. So that's why I'm here today. We've been in talks with the mayor and some of the council people about what might be awesome on the property. And I've reached out and just spoken to some of the neighbors. I see Evelyn over there. We talked about this with Evelyn. Tonight, out of respect for the whole community of Harahan, we're asking you, all the citizens of Harahan, what you might like to see happen on this beautiful piece of Batcher. So some fun thoughts that come to mind are some like a commercial recreational facility, like with a rock climbing wall, or a Boy Scout campground. My dad was an Eagle Scout. I see some Boy Scouts over there. a bass fishing pond, maybe some putt-putt golf. My 2 grandsons would love to play here. As always, being good neighbors is very important to us. We respect you, and we do wish for harmony in the community. So you can cast your votes on what you think would be really fun to do with this piece of property by emailing our office, and the email address is frontdesk@woodresources.com. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Alfers. I'm an attorney for Wood Materials and the Wood family of companies. And
Excuse me, could you speak up a little bit?
my name is Chris Alfers. I'm an attorney for Wood Materials and the Wood family of companies, and I'd like to briefly speak on proposed ordinance 2019-20, which was read tonight in the first reading section of the meeting. First of all, we received notice of this, that this proposed ordinance would be read just yesterday, so we're still reviewing it, but there appear to be some issues that we take issue with, the most significant of which has to do with Article 4 of that ordinance, which talks about swimming pools and open excavations. And it seems to prohibit open excavations within 500 feet of any residential properties. As you just heard, Wood has been operating in the city of Harahan since the early 1970s, and many of its sand pits, the center of those sand pits are actually almost exactly 500 feet from residential properties along River Road. So this ordinance has the potential to have a very serious effect on Wood and its ability to continue operating and doing business as it's done for 50 plus years. It's almost like this proposed ordinance is here improperly. It seems to affect zoning, other issues that affect the ability to do business in the city. And our position is that it is an ordinance that should have been presented to planning and zoning first, the appropriate comments and notices publicized, and the ability to have a more detailed discussion, and that should have taken place. So we would ask that any further discussion of that ordinance in this setting be tabled, I guess, for the moment, and that it proceed via the zoning and planning and zoning board and be taken up that way. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I didn't intend on speaking tonight, but I'd just like to comment because Sarah said that she talked to us. And she did. She called us, and we said that the Bachelor is zoned for sand, and that also this is in a court, as she just announced the court date of August 21st. So we said it's zoned for sand, and that's pretty much what it needs to stay. And putting anything else than that, like something for Boy Scouts or anything like that, would have to probably involve another ramp. And the residents along the River Road are very much against any ramps going down there to that spot. That's what happened when they was going to put the boat, and they didn't want that because there was going to produce a ramp right there. So that would have to have a ramp, or that Hall Road right there has been abandoned. So, but that is what's permitted there. So as we explained to Sarah, we said that is what's permitted there is sand. And so that's what's supposed to stay there is the sand. So the only reason I got up to talk is because Sarah did say that she talked to us. So I wanted to say what our discussion was. Sarah just asked our opinion, what we like, and I told her thank you for that. But it is zoned sand, and that's what it needs to be remained as sand. Thank you for your time.
I'm Tommy Duffy of 134 Chryslaw, and I just wanted to bring up the rears on what Ms. Magine said. I see a lot of people laugh and all that other stuff, but Ms. Magine, you have spent years doing research and taking up for Harahan, which is real, and you're always about building something up. And I see what you said about the fire station as something constructive. It may not be taken that way, but she's just saying that or I feel like she was saying that if we have good stewardship over the fire department that we have now, it will encourage people to support it later. So if anyone, the fire department, anybody wants to get together and make any kind of list for those of us who can come in, even if we just come in and clean for you, we'd be happy to do that. But in the meantime, I want to thank Ms. Majine and her ladies for always keeping up with things and trying to make Harahan better at all times.
Dale, sitting on 140 McHugh. Wednesday, a couple weeks ago, we had a major rain event, very heavy rain, and there was flooding again on the south side of Jefferson Highway. Now, first of all, I want to disclose, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a drainage expert, I'm a citizen and a lay person, so what I'm saying is from a lay person's point of view, but I don't think I'm too far off the mark, because I've seen McHugh Street evolve over the years. My dad built that house in 1964. I was raised as a high school there, and now I live there. And I understand that no matter how good of a pumping station, a pumping equipment, pumping drainage system you have, with a heavy, heavy, heavy rain, it's going to overwhelm it. I understand that. But there's something that's going on that's different in a couple of different ways since the big pump to the river has started. One of the things that's different is that it does take longer than a heavy, heavy rain event for the water to build up on McHugh Street, if it does at all. Sometimes it doesn't now. But when it builds up slowly, and the water rushes like a river down towards Jefferson Highway because it's draining the whole neighborhood on McHugh. It'll come up to a point where it'll go up on the lawns like it did Wednesday, and it'll stop just inches from our stoop. Now there are some houses, one or two McHugh that got water, Sedgefield and Dolan, as I recall. Now the rain stopped just in time for me, but once it stops, the water stops flowing. And it just stays there like a pond. There's no flow for about 2 to 3 hours before the water flows again. And I think from a layperson's, what's happening is the north side of Jefferson Highway drainage infrastructure is full of water. And south side of Jefferson Highway is the caboose at the end of the train. And before the water on the south side of the highway goes under the highway, and culverts is another point on that, I'll get that in a minute. Before the water goes under the highway, or is able to go under the highway, the north side of the highway has to be drained off first by the pumping station. Not only is the pumping station draining off Harahan and River Ridge, it's also draining off water that's from the opposite direction from the Elmwood, Clearview area, Elmwood area too. So it's at maximum capacity. And the culverts under Jefferson Highway is not enough of them, but that's only half the equation. Once our water does get under the highway, there's the main culvert under Corner Cove Drive that's undersized. It's a smaller pipe. The bigger pipes are under the highway.
Excuse me, Mrs. Seminator, hold on one second. Mayor, can I make a motion for 2 more minutes,
But
please?
the
Motion on the floor for 2 more minutes.
Second.
the pipe under Corner Cove Drive,
5 years, 0 nays. Go ahead.
the pipe under Corner Cove Drive is a lot smaller. So the pipes under the highway have to be addressed. The pipes under Corner Cove Drive has to be addressed. It's not the ultimate solution. It just don't make sense for the water to be sucked out from the south, go down Corner Cove Drive, go to the Sonia Canal, be sucked out of the canal, go through a pipe through the playground, and then pumped all the way to the river again. It's like a big circle. To me, the ultimate solution, and this is going to cost money, but I'll just say it for what it's worth, the only ultimate solution is a small pump to the river at the south side of the highway, somewhere on the old Gold Coast property or at the intersection of Corner Cove Drive and Jefferson Highway. The big question is, and that way the water goes straight down Corner Cove Drive across the river. We're not relying on the north side of the highway to get drained first. The big question is, who's going to pay for this? Harahan can't pay for it. They don't have money enough for everything they need now. Jefferson Parish is not going to pay for it. because we are our own city. The Corps of Engineers is highly unlikely that they would pay for it because they didn't pay for it the first time. The process of elimination, what's left? The property owners. I have not had the opportunity to meet Mr. Ducote or Mr. Georges. I would like to one day because they're going to be my neighbors. And I would like to shake their hands and welcome them to the neighborhood. And I would thank them for putting the drainage pipe in that's a little larger to help the neighbors. And I would ask them if they would possibly consider doing just a little more to consider a small pumping station. Because we don't, even though it might not seem like it's feasible now, we don't want the weather patterns to change, cause more rain events, cause more problems, and for a generation, 2, 3, 4 generations down the road, in 100, 200 years, have somebody say, why didn't the people back then, when it was cheaper, put a small pump to the river for the problem to get worse? So I'm thinking not just of us today, but I'm thinking of 2, 3, 4 generations down the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dale.
Thank you, Ms. Dale. Hey everybody, how you doing? John Voce, 7612 Stoneley Drive. Kind of seems like every meeting we have or I attend, money kind of gets thrown into the mix here and can fix a lot of problems. So as I was kind of reviewing my yearly budget, I was, and I'm curious by nature, you know, in Harahan we pay 2 different types of property taxes, one to Jefferson Parish, one to the city of Harahan. And I noticed that my Jefferson Parish tax was significantly higher. And for about last month, I've been asking citizens, how much property tax does Jefferson Parish collect from homeowners, property owners? So I put in a public request to the parish, and they actually sent it back to me. Do y'all have any idea how much Jefferson Parish property tax Harahan people pay to Jefferson Parish?
Well, it varies on the property's assessment. So did they give you like an average?
You want a total?
Total.
Okay, because okay.
Don't you think that's something that we should know? Would y'all like to know? It's $4.7 million. And my question is what do we get for it? And why in the heck do we not know that number up here? That is something that we should know, and we should have access to some of that money to fix some of the problems that we have. Todd, you need fixing. Police department needs money. Drainage money. $4.7 million. If you cut it in half and you say that Harahan costs Jefferson Parish $2.5 million, that leaves $2.2 million for what? Where does it go? So I'd like to know if y'all can help the citizens know how much exactly does it cost Jefferson Parish to run or help the city of Harahan? And I don't know if this is something that we can work out with Mr. Johnston and see if we can get additional funds, maybe even more money for a fire truck, or more money for drainage, more money for electric. I mean, I think that can solve a lot of short-term and long-term problems that the city may have right now. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we don't have to sell fireworks on the side of the road.
Good evening. It's like a jury trial, right? My name is Scott Schlegel. I'm a judge here in Jefferson Parish, and I'm running for the Louisiana Supreme Court. The election will be held October the 12th. I'm actually born and raised here in Harahan, and the last time I came to see you all over 6 years ago, I told you all that this is my calling. It truly is. This is not a career for me. I truly feel called to serve my community. And my wife of 20 years, Lori in the back, got up here in front of you all and said the same thing. And I urge you all to go look at those videos and take a look at the man that she sees every day. And here's what I can tell you. I was a former prosecutor in Jefferson Parish with almost 20 life sentences. I've tried a lot of murderers and child rapists and sex offenders. And when you handle over 1,000 criminal cases, you really see the complexities of the criminal justice system. And I would know because I'm also the victim of a violent crime. Almost 20 years ago, my wife and I found somebody at the foot of my bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I had to fight that guy until the cops came. And I've watched my wife suffer with that type of anxiety. And so when I took the bench because I wanted to make our system better. I wanted to make our communities safer. And I wanted to make sure that the DOC budget, which is $700 million a year, can be reduced and we can do better with the monies that we have and be more prepared to handle the crimes that come before us. Now look, we've talked about the violent criminals, but regardless of what you believe in sentencing, 95% of everybody that is in prison will come home. Better or worse? Worse, unless we do something different and better. I know we have a lot of business people in this audience and a lot of business people in this community. If you ran a business with a 50% failure rate and got up and said, I'm okay with that, you'd go out of business, right? So I've started the Smart on Crime initiative here in Jefferson Parish so that we can protect our communities better, make it safer, and spend our taxpayer dollars in a much wiser manner. I also handle a civil docket, and I was a civil attorney as well. We need to make our system more efficient. We need to modernize our court system so that we can have true access to justice, so that we can actually move you from point A to point B in a much more efficient and timely manner. When I first took the bench, I had legislation authorized so the judges could e-sign. So there's no reason for you, the public, to wait for me to get back to Gretna tomorrow morning if there's an order that needs my signature. Because of that legislation, I now have access to all of those orders and can sign them on my phone so that you, the people of our community, can move about your business. So just utilizing simple technologies to modernize our court system to make us more efficient. Look, I'm going to do my job as a judge, and I'm going to do it very well. I'm going to read. I'm going to be prepared. I'm not going to legislate from the bench. And I'm going to apply the law as written, not as I wish it was written. Now what? I run a business, and it's my job to serve you. You don't serve me, I serve you. And my hope at the Louisiana Supreme Court is to modernize our system statewide and take our courts into the future. Where do we want to be in 10 years, in 20 years? And we need to start today. And I'd appreciate your vote on October the 12th. And please share and like our Facebook page because it's the only way to cover 5 parishes in 90 days. So thank you all so much. Judge Scott Schlegel for the Louisiana Supreme Court. Thank you.
Yeah, gonna follow that. John, you don't want to go next? Council, Mr. Mayor, those in attendance, those watching, I appreciate your time. My name is Michael O'Brien, and I'm running to serve you as your next Jefferson Parish Council District 2 councilman. For the past 6 years, I've been coming here to Harahan. I don't live in Harahan, I live in River Ridge. For the past 6 years, I've showed up to all the Sayrita functions, all the civic association meetings, the recreational events. I know your streets, I know your flood problems, I know the financial problem, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm looking to do as councilman. Being a politician is not my goal here. Being an elected official is not my goal. My goal is to bring better business to Jefferson Parish. I know that there's no one that can enter this race that is better qualified to represent you guys than me. I understand that you guys need money, and I have ways to discuss with the council with you to bring it. One of the quick ones would be, you guys shop at the Home Depot, but you receive no benefit from the sales tax. I have a plan to fight with the council. I have a backbone to fight with the council for you guys. I know of other ways to discuss and bring to Harahan to bring revenue sources to you guys, and I will fight for that. I have a graduated from Tulane University with a finance degree. Again, I say there's nobody better prepared to serve you and fight for you. This is not a career opportunity. This is me wanting to fight for the residents of Harahan, West Wego, Harvey, River Ridge, Barataria, throughout the West Bank as well. Again, my name is Michael O'Brien. I'll be here to the very end. My email is michael@O'Brien, the number 4, District 2, www.michaelobrien.com. You can go to my website, www.michaelobrien4district2.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at the end. I appreciate your
I have
time.
one
Thank
question
you.
for you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to speak a little bit about your initiative in the air quality, to fight for our air quality. I know you've been a huge proponent of it and a loud voice, and tell me where you stand on that.
Yeah, so I can sit up here for hours and tell you that actions speak louder than words. I've been on Channel 4, 6, and 8, standing up and fighting for the community. My house, my children, my wife, my family is directly affected as well. Again, I had no problem putting a camera in front of me and standing up to the big shots. For the record, for the camera, I wasn't just fighting ADM. I was fighting my wife's godfather. Her family works for ADM. I'm not invited to any more Thanksgivings because of it, but I really don't care. What they're doing, ADM midstream, is violating me. I flew my drone. I had the FBI, lasers, state police, you name it, come to my house and knock on my door because I was reported for flying my drone. Dr. Brown told me at a Jefferson Parish Council meeting that my video cannot be used as evidence, which clearly showed the particles flying up in the air, going across the river, landing on everybody's house, cars, news, barbecues, whatnots, because they did not take it. My rebuttal to that is every single day in this country, as we stand here today, somebody is going to jail because somebody caught something with a cell phone. I told him directly, and maybe I shouldn't, my mouth is probably my biggest problem. I shouldn't run for councilman, I should run for his job, because he's pretty bad at it. I said that on camera, I meant it. Might not have been the most professional thing to say, but I will stand up for this community. Air quality has been huge to me. It is a quality of life. If you can see it, smell it, touch it, hear it, it's a problem. I fought against the expansion of the barges. I hear it. It wakes me up almost daily with the ships turning. I'm pro-business. I want to make as much money as possible. But I ask this question to anyone in here because the governor, which I went to the governor's office with this and fought against him. Please, let's elect another governor. Tell me, if business is happening inside that river, are we getting any benefits from it? We're hearing it, we're smelling it, it's affecting our quality of life, but how come Jefferson Parish is not getting any of the revenue that's happening there? Not one person in this state has answered that question. As councilman, I will fight for that answer. I won't just quit. I won't just walk away. I'm not going to stop because you just won't answer. I'm running because, again, I'll say the backbone. I will fight for you. It's a proven. I have flyers that show me on the news and whatnot, standing up for the quality of life. So, Mr. Mayor, if that answers your question, I apologize. I'm all over the place. I have a lot to say, but I know you guys have business and you have someone else to speak. So, again, I'll be here to answer any questions. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
First, I want to thank the council for letting me speak here tonight and for getting with me. I spoke with each and every one of them when I announced a few last month, and they've all taken hours out of their day to sit and talk to me and address the concerns that they have on a state level for our district and for our state. I am known as Big John Ilg. Everybody in the neighborhood in this area knows me as Big John. I grew up out here. I grew up with Todd. I played ball with Todd and his brother at Harahan Playground. I grew up with Mr. Jack Carson, who probably the reason I still coach today. He was a gentleman that didn't have a kid. His kids were grown, but he was still out there giving his time, teaching us young men what it was like and how to play the game the right way. And I was raised out here in Harahan. I married Jean Abity Ilg 25 years ago. I have a 20-year-old son. He's at LSU. One of the main reasons I'm running is I don't want to see my son and your children and grandchildren leave this state to go work somewhere else. Too many of our kids, I'm sure we all have friends and relatives that live other places because the economy's better and there's more opportunity there. Family is huge to me. It's the reason I still coach today. I watch kids grow up and I find out he moved to Houston or he moved to Atlanta. And it's heartbreaking. I don't want to see that for my kid or anyone else. We have to continue to encourage more spending in early childhood education. We have to do things for students that aren't college material to teach them a trade, to attract new business to Louisiana. And I'm the guy to do that. I've been out in this community for years. I've been active in this community. I've been active in the Republican Party. I've been elected to the Parish Executive Committee and the State Central Committee. I was appointed to the Soniac Canal Drainage Advisory Board. I heard you guys talking about Pump to the River. That's where it started back in 1995 by John Laverine. I was also appointed to the Jefferson Parish Litter Advisory Board. I've been active in the community. The people in this community, in this entire area, know me. They know me in River Ridge. They know me in Harahan. They know me in the Delta. Those people know me because I support their events. I'm not new to the community civically. I support the crawfish cook-offs. I support the jambalaya cook-off because this is our community. This is what it's all about, is community and family. Family is huge to me, and I know it is to you guys because you guys are here on a Thursday night because you're concerned about your community. I am too. Let me be your messenger in Baton Rouge. Let me be the guy that takes what needs to be done, not only in this area, in this district, but in this state, to make this state better. I'm a big guy. I'm hard to be ignored. When I walk through a door, most people notice, and let me be that guy in Baton Rouge. Let me go up there and carry the message for our community to make Louisiana better and District 78 better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Do I have a motion to close address to council?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All right, address to council is now closed. Now, you want to go into some responses?
Secretary.
You want to respond?
You want
What about the fire station?
to talk about some responses, or you want to,
Yeah, we can.
okay? Because I got some things that I'd like to say.
Okay.
You gonna do a secretary's report first?
All right, you want to start?
No, secretary's report first,
All right, go ahead, let's do secretary's report.
and then we do it in reports.
All right, Secretary's report for June, total revenue, $426,294.46.
Can I make a motion to move pay the bills up next, and we'll finalize with the reports? A motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, please move pay bills.
All right, bills paid in June, $325,594.85.
Okay, reports? Councilman Asbill, you want to go? You want to go first?
Hey, good evening. My name is Keith Moody. I'm the Assistant Chief of Police in Harahan. On behalf of Tim Walker, the Chief of Police who's out of town, I want to say thank you, first of all, for heeding the calls that went out for the Barry storm. Everybody did a great job at cleaning out their debris in their roads and making it accessible. Just want to warn, though, we're really had a lot of issues on the Wednesday morning flood, for lack of a better word, of vehicles going down roads, putting wakes into the yards. We actually had to use the high water vehicle to perform some rescues and respond to some calls for service. Just going to ask you is, we did a decent job here in Harahan. Stay in your homes, call us. We have the ability to come and get you, but we have to proceed very slowly down the road so we don't create a wake with our high water vehicles. And just, continue to call us, dial 911 if you need any assistance. We'll respond to you. But thank you again, and thank you, the people that don't live in Harahan, for staying out of Harahan during the storm. So, some highlights of the stats for June, where we had 737 calls for service, 168 citations written for 205 charges, had 4 narcotics arrests, no rapes, no murders, no robberies, no residential burglaries, et cetera, et cetera. The reason you live here is because we're one of the safest cities in the country, not only Louisiana. The reason I work here, and the reason why your officers, who you've blessed with a great millage, are here to serve you. We are true community servants. Our police department is dedicated to your safety and the welfare. So anytime you need assistance, please dial 911 and we will respond. Thank you very much. Go on and like our Facebook page, please. We spend a lot of time this week using the Facebook. In fact, the city did. So that's the quickest way. I updated even when we're on calls. We're able to remove a rattlesnake. So we do all kinds of things for you. So if there's any questions, my cell phone is 504-220-0581. You can call me anytime, day or night, and I will make sure that you're responded to. But please dial 911 for quickest service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You ready? You want me to start? I will. All right, so just a couple things from Address to Council that we want to address. On the fireworks, heard about fireworks storage and regulation of that. There is state statutes that regulate this, everything to do with fireworks that the state fire marshal inspects. I will check into it to see if we can place more restrictions on it, but because the state fire marshal inspects that, I'm going to say we probably can't, but I will look into it. But anyway, if anybody's interested in that citation, it's revised statute Title 51, 651 and following. Let's see. Regarding McHugh and Sedgefield drainage, we are, as everyone knows, we're currently in discussions with Colonial Development for an amended development agreement. One of the things we're asking them to do is help us with some of the drainage in the city that used to go to the golf club, because we know that all of it's not getting to where it needs to be. So they need to take that back on. And then I think, and Mr. Vaucher, as far as, and I don't have the direct number, but as far as parish taxes, I can tell you a lot of it goes to the schools and the sheriff's office, and there's parks and parish drainage and all that good stuff that we pay for with parish taxes that go directly to the parish, and they use it for those things.
Councilman Buddy? I'm just going in alphabetical order, I'm sorry.
One more thing. By the time we meet in August, school will be back in session, so pay attention to your school zones and bus stops.
I have two comments to make. One is, I heard criticism of Chief St. Cyr, blaming him for the condition of our fire department's physical assets. It's totally wrong. It's totally uncalled for. The fire department lives within a budget that it does not control. We all know the fire department has serious needs. Placing blame on an individual that had no control of funding ever is just wrong. The second thing is regarding Jefferson Parish taxes. We being part of Jefferson Parish, pay taxes that were voted on by citizens. The parish didn't say we would pay a millage for schools, which is where the majority of that money goes. The parish didn't say we were going to pay a millage to operate the major canals and pump stations. Citizens voted on that, and that money is dedicated. And by dedicated, the Jefferson Parish Council cannot take a dollar of money that has been dedicated through property taxes for the drainage system and use it for streets. They do not have that authority because when the citizens voted for it, it was dedicated to a particular use. So Jefferson Parish can't reallocate any of that money to Harahan or Westwego or Grand Isle. The parish council doesn't have that authority. With the exception, there's a very small amount of money in our property tax bill that goes to Jefferson Parish's general alimony. And that is what is used to run the parish administration. But the vast majority of the property taxes that we as Harahan citizens pay to Jefferson Parish and the citizens of Westwego and the citizens of Grand Isle are out of the control of Jefferson Parish. They do not have the authority to reallocate those money anywhere else. Not only don't they have the authority to give the money to Harahan or Grand Isle, they don't have the money within Jefferson Parish government to use it for a purpose other than its dedicated purpose. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to look to Jefferson Parish to give us more money. We stand in line for services. And all of our parish, and they're all listed on your property tax bill. And there's about 15 things that we pay Jefferson Parish taxes on. And they're all for dedicated uses. Everybody in Jefferson Parish pays those types of taxes to parish government. So I just think we're not going to get relief from Jefferson Parish in the form of reallocation of property taxes that we as Harahan citizens pay to the parish of Jefferson. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna stay on the taxes in Jefferson Parish for a minute. Understand what John's saying. We pay a lot of money to Jefferson Parish. We receive a lot of. Sorry, we pay a lot of money to Jefferson Parish. We receive a lot of benefits from Jefferson Parish. But as one of the candidates running stated earlier, we do a lot of shopping. Most of our shopping's in Elmwood. We don't do much shopping in Harahan. All our sales taxes are going to Elmwood, Jefferson Parish. We can work, and I believe we can work a way to get some of that money back dedicated to Harahan. I believe most of the times when we ask the parish for something, all of the council, not just Councilman 2, the other council, they agree to give us the money. I mean, they all vote on it. They agree to help us out in any way we can. I mean, they agree to loan us fire trucks and different things like that. All right, now we're going to move on to a fire truck. We borrow a fire truck from the fire station. We can take, if the fire department, Jefferson Parish has a fire truck, say it's 10 years old and they're upgrading, we can take that fire truck from the parish. Parish can donate us that fire truck. I did look into it, what Ms. Valenti said. We can buy a used fire truck. I spoke to Paul Holmes from LMA, and he stated we could go through an ordinance and buy a used fire truck. So I looked into some used fire trucks. We could buy a used fire truck for $300,000. Same thing we have over there now. We still looking. There's other ones to look into. I mean, we might find a deal, but we could put an ordinance up. We wouldn't have to put it out for public bid. The council could vote on a budget to go buy a used fire truck. We find it. We can buy it. It's a few things we have to do to make that happen. We need to figure out what's the best buy for us. From what I see right now, us purchasing a used fire truck is not the best buy for the city. I'm still looking, and I'll get some more financial experts to look at this. Now, when a parish has a truck that they put in surplus, and if we can get it for nothing, of course, we'll take a used fire truck. Woods Resources came up earlier. They have 50 acres back there behind a levee. Okay, they're not gonna put sand. They're not gonna put trash. They're not gonna do mulch. That lady just came in here the first time I heard, and she's willing to take people's opinion. What should we put back there? A recreation facility? A rock climbing wall? I mean, she's giving us options to pick that she might be willing to do. She's not saying she's gonna do it. If we could put the fly like we have in New Orleans and put 5 baseball diamonds back there, and they come up that one hall road and go to the back and use that new hall road they rolled to the back, I'm looking forward to talking to these people. I mean, I'm all in favor. I mean, there might be some niches in there that I'm not seeing right now, but just what she said in them 2 minutes, I'm interested in talking. When someone comes up to speak at that podium, we need to give them the respect and not talk. I know some of y'all think y'all whispering, but when y'all talking right there, it's loud as can be, and I can't concentrate on what they're saying. We need to give everybody the same respect. Name calling. I'm telling you now, you come up to the podium, you can name call all you want down there. When you come up to that podium, if you're gonna name call, I'm gonna be in favor of suspending your time. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to talk to me outside and call me names, that's fine too. I'm not gonna let you sit up there and beat up one of my colleagues up here. Ms. May Jean's fire station report. I think that's great you did that fire station report. We have a professional report from the engineers. Your report, you never did, as far as I know, you never turned it in to anyone. You had a report, you spoke about it a few times. I never seen your report. I appreciate you taking your report, but if you take a report and just write it down and put it in your house, I don't know what's on your report, but thanks for your time. Stop sign at the corner of 7th and Gordon. I'm excited about this stop sign. I'm gonna ask the assistant police chief right here if they could watch that stop sign for a little while and give a little leadway. I mean, people aren't used to that stop sign, you know. Maybe we could put a cone in the middle of the street. I mean, I could possibly, so I'd appreciate it if you'd give the citizens a little leeway, but I mean, we all put a stop sign. We all put that stop sign up, hopefully tomorrow morning. Ms. Barbara Harney talked about drainage. I met her out there. I mean, that's been a problem for, I'm gonna say 40 years plus. You know, so don't think that's something that just happened under this administration. I did speak to parish officials, state officials, like you spoke about earlier. It looks bad to me, and I'm not a drainage expert, but I mean, if you have a 24, 36-inch pipe choking down to an 18-inch pipe, it's kind of useless. I think that's it. If there's anything else, call me. Thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
Just two things. One, to go on what Mr. Thomas was talking about with Jefferson Parish. As far as the taxes go, we cannot take the taxes, just like he was saying, but what they do is they have a discretionary fund, which they have been supplying us money throughout the past few years. Councilman Johnson's been giving us quite a bit of money, and that is from money that is brought in from video poker and off-track betting. So that's just a discretionary fund that each district has a certain amount of dollars that they can give to municipalities like us. And so that's how they give back without going against the law and moving money around when they're not supposed to. Secondly is about the drainage and all that on Jefferson Highway. Not just we, it's been going back years and years. We have been trying to get with the state to take care of funds to close it all in. That also to put bigger throughout the underneath the highway, but also to cover all the culverts that they have on Jefferson Highway and Hickory. We've been trying that for years and years, because what happens is you have rain, you have erosion, you have everything, and it washes it all, and again, it clogs up all the drains. That's something that we're still working on, and hopefully we'll get some state help. The state works with us, but money-wise, they have to make sure the money's there and allocate it properly and do all that stuff, and we just haven't been lucky enough to get that money. Talbot, yes, Talbot, and whoever wins the next election, we can get with them and try and get some more help there. But so that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilman
You were supposed to let me go first this time.
Will? We'll have to reverse
No,
what I
no,
next time.
I'm just going to reiterate what everybody said. I will say this little, I want to say trial run with Barry was very interesting for this council here. Seems like we got a lot of response to the Facebook Live that went on announcing certain things about trash and pickup and stuff like that. Several members of this council were out riding the streets together, and I know it might not have been a glorious time, but I had a great time. I know that might sound weird. We would get out and go grab this branch and then go pick up that, and it was just, fortunately, we were blessed that it didn't affect any of us. I know some areas lower line got hit. Unfortunately, one day it's going to come. So this was a nice trial run for us. I think it was awesome how we handled it. I appreciate, again, the citizens. And again, I was going to say about school, but Jason said that already. So I guess have a good evening. Can I go first next time?
Yes, you may. First of all, I want to thank everybody who helped with Barry. We had some citizens get involved that came out and helped, and that was pretty cool. You know, we came together as a community, and kind of that's all I've ever really wanted in my tenure here as councilman and mayor, is to figure out a way to come together as a community. And for us, for the first time in a long time, I got to feel that, and it was inspiring, and it was a little overwhelming at times, and it was great. And after we've had our event, we went through, and a few administrators and myself went through, and we wrote a punch list of what could we do better. You know, how can we be better? We know this was a trial run, and we got grace in it, so let's learn from it, and that's what we're trying to do, and that's what I think me, this council, my staff, and these chiefs will do in the next 4 years, is we'll continue to learn and get better. And because we understand that we don't know everything, and when you do know everything, then you can't learn anything. And we don't look at anything like that. We want to learn, we want to push, we want to be better, we want to be more responsive, and we want to be able to handle things as quick as we possibly can. I'd like to go into just a couple of things, because Mr. John Volche touched on here for a minute, just to make sure he knows what the parish has done for us, and particularly Councilman Johnson, just in my tenure as mayor. He's given us $300,000 towards a new fire truck. He's given us another $250,000 towards repairing streets. He's given me another $75,000 to put equipment on that fire truck. He's also just spent another $45,000 to repair a sewer line and where we had a major collapse and a 6-foot sinkhole drop in between Carolyn and Gordon on Wilson. Just that alone is well over $500,000, maybe over 600,000. Also, the parish come in and on between Carolyn and Wilson, they replaced an entire water line, you know, and that's a failing infrastructure piece on our part, and it was something that was just above and beyond that the parish had done. So I can tell you, and just in my time here, I believe the parish and Councilman Johnson and even State Representative Kirk Talbert. I mean, every time I called, you know, about getting those ditches clean during a storm, I called Councilman Johnson. I said, Councilman Johnson, can you get on a conference call with me with State Representative Talbot, and let's get these ditches clean. Let's get them done. The storm's coming. We don't know, at that point, we didn't know where it was going. It was going to jog left, jog right. It couldn't make up its mind. And I got to tell you, between us three, man, we got it done, and we got it done fast. However, we got some complaints following. Hey, they cutting the ditches, but they're not cleaning the debris out. I was on the phone the next morning. Hey, guys, guess what's happening? They cut the ditches and not cleaning the debris out. That morning, they were out there cleaning that debris. You know, and that's what I think that I will always bring to this administration, is that my ability to work well with others and my relationships. And that's how we do this. And that's how we become better citizens, you know, by building, not tearing down. We want to build something great, not leave scorched earth. And I think that I'm incredible at doing that. And I think that we'll get this city moving really far if we can just stop the insults and the attacks and come with ideas and plans and let's go. I mean, Mauricio and I, people know that we were not on the same side during the campaign, and yet he comes up and inspires me with incredible ideas. Why can't that be? Why can't we come together now? You know, and I think that's that time. If we want something great, it's on all of us. It's not just on the 5, 6 of us up here. It's on all of us. This is our city. It's not my city, it's our city. So I say let's continue to build, let's continue to grow, and let's continue to work together. You know, Team Harahan, right? That's it for me.
Motion.
I have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Council meeting's adjourned.